The purpose of example 1.18 is to help give a student a different perspective on the idea of the function. The typical illustration from a textbook is the notion that a function is a machine, and the machine requires you to input a value from the domain, and it will automatically translate that into an output, which is going to be a value from the range of the function. So I want to draw a picture that is this machine type analogy, if you will. So let me draw this machine, and I apologize in advance, my art skills are definitely lacking. But here's the machine, and like I said, the machine is supposed to have values that are put in, and these are called the inputs. And on the other side, we have values that come out, and these are known as the outputs. The machine itself is the mechanism that takes your input and turns it into the output. That would be maybe an equation, some kind of other rule that tells you how to take the domain value and turn it into a range value. So this again is just another perspective on the way that the function works, the way that the actual mechanics of it are. Now I do want to also produce you with another visual here, which is going to be utilizing the arrow mapping concept that we've seen earlier in the section. So when we're dealing with a function, we know that we have to have a first set and we have to have a second set. Now at this point, we're not just working with generic mappings, we're going to be working specifically with mappings that qualify as being a function. So some of the other language that we're using right now is the domain. So we are no longer going to call the first set capital A. We are going to always call the first set now the domain of your function. The second set is no longer going to be called B. The second set is always going to be now the set of real numbers. So we're taking the domain of F and we're mapping it to the set of real numbers. Now when we're doing this, one of the rules about making a map is that you are supposed to use every single element from the domain of F. But for the second set, the set of real numbers, you are not required to use every single one of them. Sometimes you will use them all. We've seen examples where you do use all the elements, but you don't have to. So you may only use that portion right there. So that's what we would then highlight as the portion that gets used. That is known as the range of F. So the range is not the same as the second set in your mapping. The range is only the portion of the second set that you actually use when taking all of the domain values and mapping them over.